application in order to use Jabali Studio and therefore to participate, yes. Yes, we will provide certificates. Does anyone have any other questions about anything? Yeah, you can use rigged models that you upload in. It is basically vibe coding with Jabali Studio. Yes, with Bali. Or you don't have to just vibe code. You can always code on your own as well, add in your own. Feel free to modify or edit the scripts yourself. But yes, a majority is vibe coding. Can I use a prototype? I don't understand. You would have to start building the game from scratch in Studio in order to submit it for the game jam. If you're asking if you can do a practice prototype right now before the game jam starts, of course you can. Like, there's nothing stopping you from using Jabali Studio right now. You could always start, kind of test out a couple of game ideas, start building different concepts, try to see what kind of works for you. But then only games that are started in Studio at the start of the game jam and the last version that is published before the end of the game jam will be considered as valid entries for the game jam. Yes, you can give Bali the storyline for the game and it will use that story to build the game. There is no theme for the game jam. It is only a 24-hour game jam, so you cannot submit it on Monday anyway. It's exactly a 24-hour game jam. It starts on Saturday PST and ends on Saturday PST. Uh, so there is no option for Monday. To publish a game, and again, these are things that they'll show you tomorrow, but let me share my screen and just show you how to publish any game. So let's say I wanted to publish this game. I'm not super happy with it, but let's say I wanted to publish the game. Okay, I'm fine with all these settings for now. Let's go back. All you have to do is press the button for publish here. And this has to be done before the end of the game jam. You can choose the name of the game here. If you don't like it, I kind of like what it is. You can change the description here. You can switch out the posters, put any release notes that you want in your commit, and then you say publish. And what the studio will do is it will build your game, make sure that it's published to the web, so like a web version of the game is published, and then it will give you a link to your game. And then you can kind of see this publishing thing is happening here. And then once the link for the game has been generated, you can then share that link and you'll see that this is like the published. So right now my game was unpublished because I'm still working on it. But now that the game has been successfully published, I can copy that link and I can actually share that link with you guys. And again, this is not a good game. This is a partial game. I was just testing out a couple of features on it. So obviously you're not going to enjoy playing that game, but at least you kind of get an idea of what those games are. So now that is the link to the game. So if you open the game in your browser, or whoever it is that you share it with opens the game in your browser, you'll kind of see a description of the game, and then you can start playing the game. You should be able to see exactly what you saw in the play screen of Studio when you play the game. And so you should be able to type it in here. That's it. Um, does that help with how to publish your game? That's how you submit and publish your game. Basically, as soon as you press publish, it's submitted. You can republish, you can publish again, you can revert back to an earlier published version, but until you press publish, it will, like, the game is still unpublished. So that's a submission. You don't have to submit anything as long as you've signed up for the game jam. So I think Imanri is here, but most of you probably have already registered for the game jam. So if you've registered for the game jam, there should be a way, Imanri, right, for them to submit the links to their game
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, correct.
Right. So if you've registered for the game jam, there should be a way for you guys to submit the link once you've published the game, even once. That link is not going to change. Once you've submitted that link, you can keep publishing game, keep updating it until the end of the game jam. Whatever was last published when the game jam ends is what we will consider for submission. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions about Studio? We also have a couple of other folks here from the team, Rezin and Imanri. Imanri can answer most of your questions regarding the competition itself. If you have questions about like the game design side of it, or I think Rezin, you've used the Phaser engine quite a lot, right, while building your games and 3JS.
Yeah, I have.
So if you have questions for Resin on those, you he can probably answer those questions too. Yes, right now we only have Godot and Phaser in the studio, and like 3JS obviously because Phaser. Um, so you can't use Unity or Unreal. Yes, we will be adding more engine support in the future, and any engines will be taken into consideration for the same. So yeah. Does anyone have any other questions? Otherwise, we can probably end this call if you guys don't have other questions for me. Note that tomorrow, at the very start of the game jam, there will be a masterclass that will walk you through all kinds of tips and tricks and everything else with respect to studio. I think it's going to be hosted by Colin, who's one of the other the AI leads on this project. We'll be online through the entire game jam period. I think we're all doing shifts. So we'll be online on Discord. If you guys have more questions, you're free to post any questions that you have to the AI game jam chat, and someone or the other will get to you and answer your questions and hopefully unblock you. It's not so again, a lot of our community is on our Discord channel, uh, as is, I guess, most communities for game devs. Uh, this particular jam was both online and offline in the sense that it was in person and online. Since it's online, we do need a venue to have these conversations and clear your questions and answer issues that you have or tickets that you have. And so for us, Discord, yes, is how we handle the online version of it. If you were in person, you would be, I guess, in California tomorrow and get these questions answered in person. But that would those are the two choices, yes. We will be expanding our like the editors that we support in the future. But yes, right now we only have Godot and Phaser, as I've mentioned. Okay. If no one has other questions, we can probably end this session. I'll just stay online for another 2-3 minutes in case folks still have questions, but feel free to drop whenever if you don't. And thanks for joining us, of course, everyone. I hope we answered most of your questions and got to everyone's issues. Again, definitely tune in tomorrow for the masterclass. Those are really helpful and show you a lot more details of creating a game with Jabali and best practices than we covered in the shorter demos today for the workshop. Also, you can just say Sasha, you don't have to say ma'am. I don't feel old enough.
Yes.